The court just wrapped up its work for today. This is some of the legal counsel walking past me, and I think what is crucial out of today's arguments is that the lead investigator in the police investigation appears to have been quite discredited by Oscar Pistorius' defense team. Their case appears to have been weakened by Oscar Pistorius' defense team attacking them like a bulldog, according to my producer who was inside the courtroom watching the events. And what is also crucial about this is that Oscar Pistorius is looking more confident, it appears. He's no longer hunched over, crying, sobbing. He's sitting up straight. And why is this? A number of key issues we heard today. This evidence of testosterone allegedly being found in Oscar Pistorius' house. Well, his defense team poo-pooing that, saying, listen, has it been tested? Do you know what the substance is? And the investigating officer saying, no, not yet. I just read the label. Pistorius' team saying, you know, this is just a herbal medication. Again, also, a lot of argument over this allegation that there was loud fighting, that there was, you know, problems hours before the killing of Reeva Steenkamp. And Pistorius' team coming out and saying, you know, was this a neighbor? Who was this witness? And it seems like the witnesses were living in a house at least a few hundred meters away from Pistorius' house. So they weren't next door. It's those kinds of things that also really punched holes in the state's case. Also, significantly, suggestions of perhaps police bungling in many ways. The investigator admitting that he didn't wear protective shoe covers when he went into Pistorius' home, effectively contaminating the crime scene. Just one of the many riveting details coming out in court here today.
Yeah, very riveting details. What you mentioned just then, the police investigation being seen as discredited by some, also the defense, Oscar Pistorius himself and his body language coming across as a bit more confident today. Now, he does face a very serious charge, that premeditated murder charge. He also faces additional charges. What can you tell us about that? And also the likelihood, what we're waiting for, whether or not he'll be granted bail.
Okay, well, final arguments are going to happen tomorrow morning, so we'll get a sense tomorrow on whether the magistrate has been swayed by either side and whether he'll get bail. Just in addition about those extra charges, the state earlier on in today's evidence said they would bring extra charges because they found unlicensed ammunition in a safe. Again, no indications of some sort of police bungling, because they apparently gave this ammunition to lawyers, then the next day asked them to give it back. They didn't photograph it, and according to Oscar's defense, this wasn't his ammunition, it was his father's. So, you know, in terms of the case that they were trying to build up, it was constantly sort of beaten down by Pistorius' team. Also, remember, Oscar's defense all along has been that this was just a tragic misunderstanding, that he shot his girlfriend thinking she was an intruder while she was in the bathroom. And according to the defense, the autopsy indicated that her bladder was empty, you know, consistent with his story that she was in the bathroom and that she had woken up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Also, crucially, the investigating officer saying he couldn't find any inconsistency in Oscar Pistorius' version. So let's see what the magistrate has to say about this tomorrow, but I think no doubt friends and family of Oscar Pistorius might be feeling a lot more confident, a lot more positive after today's events.
Yeah, you know, this case, it is just so dramatic, and yet the trial, it hasn't even started yet, right? I mean, when is the full trial expected here?
We don't know, and I mean, the South African legal system works very slowly, but no doubt a high-profile case like this, many people believe will be speeded up. But I mean, best-case scenario, a few months, 6 months. So if Oscar Pistorius doesn't get bail, he faces the prospect of being behind bars for at least 6 months. And remember, of course, that there are no special facilities for people with disabilities in South African prisons. He has prosthetics and, of course, a variety of, additional needs. So this would be quite a thing for him. So this is why his family and his defense are, really trying to break down the state's case that he should be locked away for the next 6 months until that trial date is set.